Hello! Today we'll be looking at the Cambridge IGCSE music paper regarding listening and world music listening. Today we will be zooming in on Gamelan music from Indonesia, specifically looking into music from Bali and Java, and this is what we call Gamelan. Today we're looking at the November 2020 past paper, paper 1-2, and we're going to listen to the mysterious voice as well, giving the appropriate instructions to what we need to do in the whole section B. So of course, section B comprises 3 sections. Section B1, which counts 6 marks, section B2, which also counts 6 marks, and then section B3, which counts 10 marks. Section B3 has to do with your world listening focus for the year. So for 2024, that will be Latin American music, and for 2025, that'll be Chinese music. So today we're definitely just looking into the general world music, and this can be one of 6 music listenings, which excludes your world music focus, of course. And today we're looking into Gamelan. And when it comes to the Cambridge paper, you will have to answer everything systematically. There will be a first playing of your section B1, a silence, a second playing, a silence, a third playing, followed by a silence, after which we will have our fourth and final playing, and then our fourth and final silence, in which we can type everything that we need to. So of course, when you listen to the extract for the first time, we will just try to glean a holistic idea of what's going on. For instance, okay, where does this music come from? But we don't have to think about too much else. We do have the questions in front of us, and then when we go on to our second listening, third and fourth and so on, we can zoom into exactly what we want to extract from this extract. And then of course afterwards we'll just tie it up and make sure that you do get to everything that you would really like to answer through the span of the 4 listenings. So let's go ahead and look at our questions. So here they do give us a little skeleton score, so we can sort of follow the sheet music for a little bit, after which the extract continues. So question 10, of course, we're in a systematic paper, so this is the 10th question in the whole paper, following section A. This is our first subsection in section B, and we start off with question 10. Describe how the printed music passage, so that's our skeleton score, is used as the extract progresses. Then comment on similarities as well as differences in your answer. So of course, you're going to look at the skeleton score, you'll hear what's going on in the extract, and then afterwards, how is the skeleton score used throughout the extract? Then the next question, what name is given to this type of ensemble? And then, where does this music come from? Or, let's correct Cambridge's English, from where does this music come? But okay, short and sweet, nice and simple. You see the bulk of the marks definitely lie with our first question in this section, and that's really to do with the skeleton score and how it's used. So, let's dive into our listening, and then we'll take it from there.
Section B. You will hear 3 extracts of music from around the world. Each extract will be played 4 times, with a pause between each playing. Music B1. You will hear an extract from a piece for instruments. Read through the questions now.
Okay, of course, we already read through the questions, so let's hop right into our listening.
Now listen to music B1 and answer the questions.
Okay, so that was our first playing. Let's go ahead and answer our questions. So while you have to answer the paper systematically, in a specific section, you don't have to say, okay, I need to answer this first question first and then the next question afterwards. You can sort of spin it around. So we are actually going to start with question 11a. what name is given to this type of ensemble. And of course, with Cambridge specifically, if we're looking into an Indonesian type of ensemble, we refer to them as a gamelan ensemble. Of course, there are different types of ensembles, different types of Indonesian music, but when it comes to this type of music, Cambridge has asked us specifically to study gamelan music, so that'll be the name of our ensemble, gamelan. Then where does this music come from? Of course, it comes from Indonesia. And if you want to be very specific with the city, you can say Bali, but of course, sometimes this is also prevalent in Java. So city specific, you don't really have to do that, but Indonesia it is. We definitely have to say our country, where it comes from. Then we're going to revert back to the previous question. Describe how the printed passage is used as the extract progresses. So I am going to play this extract once more so that we can listen more closely, but of course I am hearing that it starts off and then it gets quite loud. And then after that, things change again. So let us listen. Remember that it shows us in brackets that this question is worth 4 marks, so we definitely have to put down 4 facts. And saying that it gets louder progressively and more instruments are added, it will only give us about 1 or 2 marks. So we need to be very thorough there. So let's go ahead and listen again.
Music B1, second playing.
Okay, so let's answer that question. So of course, after we see that skeleton score, the music continues, and there we can hear that the passage gets louder, we can hear that more instruments are added, we can hear that the music is much more decorated, almost like ornamentation, and we can then say after that it gets softer. So we have this passage where it gets nice and loud, and then all of a sudden the volume dips and it's quite soft, and then gets loud again. And right at the end, it is played much more slowly without the dotted rhythm. So you'll see there are dotted quavers with semiquavers in our skeleton score. And a little bit at the beginning, they keep to that, but afterwards, the dots fall away. And then it is also played heterophonically. So that nice texture word, heterophonic texture. So this means that the melody is played by various instruments at the same time, but in a little bit of a varied way. And this is quite a very typical world music type of texture, and we definitely do hear it here. But we only do need 4 marks. So if you want to keep it nice and simple, you can speak about the loud, the soft, the loud again, more instruments added, and stuff like that. So you definitely only need 4 marks here, so 4 facts will do you good. And we definitely don't need to say anything specifically about specific instruments that we're hearing. I know that Indonesian instruments can be quite daunting if we're not Indonesian. I'm not Indonesian, see, I'm South African, but we don't need to know the specific names. Firstly, they are hard to pronounce. They're named after the onomatopoeic type of sounds that the instruments actually make in their language. So, of course, we're not going to be able to pronounce it, firstly. Then secondly, this isn't a world music focus for the year, so we don't have to go in and be very specific about these kinds of things. We can just be nice in general, and we only need our 4 facts here. So there we go, a nice, relatively short and sweet and simple extract, and I hope that that does help you with regards to gamelan music, if Cambridge does happen to ask that in your music listening paper.